Hi, this is Tony Turner, and welcome to the Market Now as of the market's close on Friday, September 19th. U.S. stocks closed little change today after Alibaba's strong debut was offset by falling technology shares as Oracle and Yahoo stumbled, but the Dow managed to edge higher to set a record close for a second straight session at 17,279. Alibaba took the spotlight after its initial public offering priced at $68 a share and rose as high as $99.70 before ending the session up 38% to $93.89. Volume was heavy today with about 8.68 billion shares traded on U.S. exchanges. Aside from Alibaba, volume also received a boost from quadruple witching, the expiration of futures and options for indexes and stocks. Now let's look at three charts that could give us some insight into the week to come. First of all, we're going to look at a chart of the S&P 500 Spider. This is symbol SPY, and as you all know, it is the ETF or tracking stock that closely follows the S&P 500 index. We saw a new all-time closing high for the SPY yesterday. It seems to be record after record, doesn't it? At $201.85. That's after bouncing from recent lows touched on October 7th of $190.55. Today, however, after a big week of news, including the FOMC meeting decision to keep rates low, Scotland's decision to stay in the UK, of course, again, Alibaba's IPO, and quadruple witching options expiration, again, the SPY closed today down very slightly at $200.70. Now, we do see support here at 198, which would be 1980 on the S&P 500 itself. That's the bottom of this recent pivot right here. Then we have more support just below at the 50-day moving average. And down at 195, which is the bottom of this prior summer consolidation. Whoops, if I could draw a straight line. Well, guess I can't. But anyway, you guys get it, 196, 195. We've got support all the way down, down to this low I talked about before at 190. Now, as you can see, after I drew all over it, of course, making new highs or near it, the SPY is trading above its red line, the 20-day moving average, the green line, the 50-day moving average, and the black line down here is the 200-day moving average. I drew two trend lines here, one stretching from February lows up underneath April lows, and if we extended that line, it touches three places, right through this recent August pullback, it comes up right up to about 198 and change. And the second trend line I drew connecting the August lows here with the February lows comes up to about 195. So all of these lines, moving averages, price points, could provide potential support to the SPY if it decides to take a breather here. As we can see, the RSI is got a very slight bearish divergence on it here. MACD is going sideways just above the zero line. So it's going into next week, which can be, the last week of September can be a volatile week for the S&P 500, for the broad market. So we're going to want to keep an eye on that and make sure we have our stops in and that we're completing our risk management. Our next chart is a chart of the First Trust Dow Jones Internet Index Fund, symbol FDN. I'm actually using the FDN as one way to keep an eye on some of the large cap growth stocks or big momentum stocks that have made such big moves up lately. I think the FDN can give me a pretty good idea of the strength of some of the big market movers and where they're going to go next. Now, if in the FDN, the top components are Facebook, Amazon, eBay, Priceline, Yahoo, Google, and Netflix. So that's a big group of MOMO or momentum stocks. Again, I want to see which way they're going to go, so I'm going to keep an eye on the FDN. We can see that it made on May 7th low this year. Was at about $52. Since that May low, it has come up. I drew an intermediate term trend line here that pretty much walks right along the green 50-day moving average. So we can see a pretty clear price trend here. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Our recent high up here, very recent, was $63 and change. Now, I think it's going to be important to the entire NASDAQ here to see if next week and going into October, the FDN can stay above this trend line and the 50-day moving average at 61. It closed today at $61.76. Can it stay above, again, the 50-day moving average and the price point of 61 or $60.50? If it has to roll over, then I believe that we can look at the NASDAQ itself as having some weakness in it. If, on the other hand, the FDN can move higher and up over 63, then I think that does show strength for the NASDAQ tech stocks, momentum stocks, and certainly for the broader market itself. Our final chart today, we've looked at it before, is the iShares US Telecom ETF, symbol IYZ. The top components are Verizon, AT&T, CenturyLink, and SBAC Communications. Now, it made a May low down here of $28.25, closed today at $30.98. I'm going to keep an eye on the IYZ and its components. I see volume coming into the IYZ the last couple of days. It is trading above its 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day moving average. Now, the IYZ is not necessarily an exciting ETF, nor are its components necessarily exciting, but just on the chance that we do get some volatility here coming into the end of September, end of the third quarter, and then going into October, beginning of the fourth quarter, I thought that the IYZ and some of its components may be a nice place to hang out if in fact that volatility takes place. Okay, now we're going to go on to next week's economic reports. Monday, we have existing home sales. Tuesday, not much. Wednesday, we have new home sales and crude inventories. Thursday, we have jobless claims and durable orders. And Friday, we have the GDP and the Michigan sentiment. Until next week, keep green on your screen. I'm Tony Turner, and this is The Market Now.